Alright, Bob Buckley here with a Frontline Disc Golf backhand review for Andrew Afelker. We have Andrew on the right, Dan Brooks Walls on the left. I'll go ahead and play through the form once, I'll back it up and I'll do my review. Okay, so first thing I like to tell people is to start with the disc up by your chest. When you start low and you're going low up to high and you're swinging back around, it's easier just to start high, reach back, and then pull straight through. That way you're not trying to play with the height of your reach back or anything like that. Your height of your reach back is exactly where you're reaching back to, or where you're starting with the disc, if that makes sense. As I go through, I would highly suggest getting rid of the, also I didn't note this in the notes, but your first step is backwards. You're starting with your first step backwards, which automatically turns your hips backwards. We don't want our hips turned backwards. As you'll notice, Dan here stays pretty square to his target, walking in a straight line, sideways in a straight line towards his target. Everything, for the most part, stays in that one linear motion. His shoulders turn only when he does his reach back. His hips turn only when he goes into his X step. Other than that, everything is straight to the basket. So, straighten this first step out. As you can see, Dan's is pretty much 90-degree angle to the target. And then as you go into your X step, you do this hop. I would highly suggest getting rid of the hop. There's a point here where you levitate. Right there, and on the ground. And also, relax. You look really tense right here. Being tense isn't going to make you throw far. You gotta relax and let your muscles do the work. But you don't want to be muscling the disc, if that makes sense. Dan has a really nice small X step. It allows his hips to stay in line. If you take too big of an X step, your hips turn backwards again. Also, look at your target. You're looking away from your target. You're looking down the entire time. Dan looks at his target the whole time, continues to look at his target until his shoulders don't allow him to anymore. So when he goes into his reach back, that's the only time he looks away from his target. Right there. So with the reach back timing, your reach back should start as your plant foot comes out of the X step. So as soon as I see this front of this foot here move, your reach back should begin. So your front foot is already coming forward and you haven't started your reach back yet, so your reach back is late. And then as your plant foot lands, you should be able to peak reach back, which you are. So you're good there, but it just starts a little late. Also, you're not utilizing your full reach back. You should be turning the shoulders all the way and reaching as far back as you can. I tell people to pretend that there's somebody standing at the back of the tee pad and you're trying to hand them the disc. As you can see here with Dan's reach back. Reach back, don't swing back. What I mean by that is you start with the disc down low. You are swinging back. You want to be here and reaching back and then pulling straight through. Right now you are reaching, or you're swinging back and then pulling straight through instead of staying in one linear motion. Your plant foot here is pigeon-toed, which doesn't allow you to engage your hips as you should be. You want to be landing on your toe and pivoting. And my last note is when you're pulling through, you want to be driving through with this elbow, and you don't want to turn your hip, you don't want to turn your shoulders really. So I tell people to pretend there's a pane of glass you're trying to throw your elbow through. If you watch Dan gets his elbow, if there's a piece of glass right here, Dan is breaking that glass window. And this is what gets you into the power pocket. This is where all your power is going to come from, right here. And then you're opening your shoulders up. If you notice, Dan's shoulders don't turn until the disc is out of his hand. This is like one of the hardest things to do, is get into that power pocket and drive through with that elbow. But if you're able to do it, you'll see a significant increase in distance. So that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Hopefully you learn from it. And we'll see you out there.